Wait for
That's
that.
going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, time for a sports roundup. The man in the know, in the collar, Father Matt Frisbee. Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Father Matt.
Good morning, Dave and Ron, and all our listeners. Good to be with you this morning.
Well, it's good to have you on, and I would love to celebrate another Guardians victory, but maybe tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of that, the Guardians, the Indians, lost to the Reds last night. They had a poor series against Houston over the weekend. That lead for Detroit in the AL Central widens. But especially what's noteworthy about last night's loss to the Reds is that the Tribe they've now lost all 4 games against the Reds this year, and they only placed 6. And of course, every year the Reds and the Guardians Indians play for the coveted Ohio Cup, which with the Reds' 4th win of the year, they take the season series, and it means they take the Ohio Cup for the first time in 11 years.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
That's right. So.
And swept
Bad
it so
day
far.
for Cleveland baseball.
Yeah. Did it in sweep style.
But, what's that?
Did it in sweep style, 4-0.
Yeah, well, 2 more games, but it doesn't matter. Reds take the season series. So, hopefully the Tribe can get one of these games against the Reds here. So we'll find out. We're going to go off the beaten track a little bit here, talk a little bit of tennis. Which I do from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
French Open Finals for the men this past Sunday. 1 versus 2, Yannick Sinner against Carlos Alcaraz. Really a great match. I didn't see all of it, but Yannick Sinner, who met with Pope Leo, a couple of weeks ago, he was up 2-0, and then he was lost the 3rd set, and he was up in the 4th set, 5-3. And he was at championship point. He was at 40 love. Had a chance to win the French Open and couldn't do it there. Alcaraz came back and won that game and then won the 4th set, and Alcaraz came back to win the 5th set. So Carlos Alcaraz with the French Open championship over Yannick Sinner. It was really a great match. I know we don't talk tennis, and I'm sure not too many of our listeners are tennis watchers, but it was a great match.
It's exciting to watch, too, because when they're playing at top level like that and you see that competition, it is fun to watch.
It really is. I mean, these guys are really good. Talking to my good priest friend, Father Jeremy Miller, who is himself a tennis player, he just says, these guys are so good. That we probably can't even comprehend just how hard both these guys hit the ball and their ability to return, all these kinds of things. It was a fun match to watch.
And look, many of us grew up watching the great tennis players, right? I'd love to see that sport make a comeback for just the average viewer, not the the person that's absolutely dedicated to playing tennis, but just loves watching good tennis. And pretty good on the women's side, too, a good outcome for the United States of America.
Yeah, that's right. Coco Gauff with the win on the women's side. That's right. I'm glad you brought that up, too. Yeah. And, I think some of it for tennis, there's really, on the women's side, we've got Coco Gauff, and, of course, there was Serena Williams all those years, too. But on the men's side, there really hasn't been a great American. We can think back to the days of Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi, and, even before that, the famous John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors. And, on the men's side, tennis has really been dominated by Roger Federer from Switzerland, Rafael Nadal, and Carlos Alcaraz, both from Spain. Djokovic from one of the Balkan countries, I can't remember which, and now Yannick Sinner, who's from Italy. So, here in America, there just hasn't been that great American tennis player, and maybe that's what's lacking.
Well, and it makes you want to revisit the Sports Illustrated article, God Won the Match, and it's all about Father Jeremy Miller. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't choose the priesthood? We just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So, the other thing, we don't talk a lot of hockey, but I think it's worth mentioning, we're in the Stanley Cup Finals. And we have a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Finals. Last year, and again this year, Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. And last year, Florida won it, I think, going to Game 7, 4-3. So a really great series last year. And last night, the Florida Panthers took I assume they did. I went to bed at the beginning of the third period, but they were up 4-1.
Yeah, they won.
So, yeah, that's what I figured. So Florida, again, looks really tough, just fast on the ice and tough to get the puck up the ice on them. So I suspect we'll see Florida win it all again. And, for Canada, they're still looking for one of their teams to win a Stanley Cup since sometime in the 90s, I think it is. So,
well, and they keep stealing the Kelly Cup. The walleye kind of went down, but I had a little thank you party for all the fans anyway. You would think Edmonton would be dominant, right?
Well, it's one of my things about the National Hockey League in general. There's just a great irony. You see all these teams in warm weather climates winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Lightning really had a run there for a little bit when Steve Yzerman was their general manager. And, the Las Vegas Golden Knights have won it twice, I think, in the last 10 years. But where hockey is the national sport in Canada, you would think that they would be winning it. But, there's free agency, draft, all this kind of stuff. It's not like they naturally just go up to the Canadian team.
Yeah, they're from everywhere. And while we're on hockey, we pointed out during Today in History, today is the day, on this day, 2016, that hockey legend Gordie Howe died, and he died right here in Toledo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you didn't know that either. So I thought maybe I missed it because I came after that, but great Gordie Howe died here in Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. Yeah, and a hockey legend, Red Wings legend.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things. Be nice. The Red Wings had those dominant teams of the 90s and 2000s, and it would be nice to see them get back to those levels again. They won't be as dominant, just when they had that influx of all those Russian players, Sergei Fedorov and company. They really dominated, but it'd be nice to see the Red Wings get back at it again.
Look, I'm not a big hockey fan, so I really don't have a horse in the race regarding this Stanley Cup. But USA, I don't want Canada to win. I don't want them to ever. Honestly, I'm sorry. It's just in my spirit. I can't help it. It's not that I don't like the people from Canada. I just don't want them to win when they're playing someone that belongs to us.
Well, that's true. Hard to argue with. I just don't like warm weather teams winning it.
Well,
that's
my
biggest
too.
thing.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of finals, too, we're NBA finals here.
Yep.
We're all tied up, one game apiece. Indiana Pacers really had a little Houdini act in game one there. They were down most of the game and really down, 10 points. Good chunk of the second half there. I turned it off for a little bit, turned it back on with about 2 minutes left, and with about 0.3 seconds, they get the game-winning shot. So 1-1.
Pretty exciting.
The first time they held the lead, 0.3 seconds was the only time during the entire game that they held the lead.
Wow.
Not a bad time
really
to have it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Bob and Matt Frisbee, as always, I'll use a sports analogy. You've knocked it out of the park. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father
Well,
Matt.
thank you. Have a great day, and God bless.
You too. And if you're not watching that NBA Finals, I will tell you there's a better team. OKC has more talent. They have better players. But Indiana Pacers have a bigger heart. And I just will tell you, I think they're going to win it all. I think